welcome back to Young Thoughts. So today we have a really special guest. You know, all our guests are special. So she's a full-time author from UK. Yes, another guest from UK. Let's welcome Miss Rosamund Lupton. So hi, Miss Rosa.
Hello, lovely to be here.
Yes, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Yes. How about you?
I'm fine. How is it in the UK?
It's strange. We're locked down, so there's limited. We can't meet anyone outside our household at the moment. With COVID, so that's quite strange.
Right. So shall we get right into it?
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna be starting with the first game. It's called First Thoughts. So I will tell you a random word, and you just have to tell me the first thing that pops into your mind. Okay?
Okay.
So, the first one. Writer.
Book.
Book. Family.
Children.
Okay. Friends.
Warmth.
Right. Sisters.
Tora, my sister.
Season.
Spring.
Oh, is it your favorite season?
It is. Yes. And I think also it's a hopeful season for me.
Personality.
Happy.
Work.
Writing.
Books.
Oh, well, that's writing as well. Reading.
All right. And lastly, Rosamund.
My grandmother. It was my grandmother's name.
Oh, so your name was inspired by your grandmother's name.
It was her name, yeah.
That's really sweet.
But no one called her that. They called her Betty for some reason.
Oh,
and she was always
really?
very sad. Yeah, she was sad they didn't use her given name, which was Rosamund. So
that is it for First Thoughts. Now we're going to jump straight into the interview questions. Okay, so the first question. When did you write your first book and how old were you?
Well, I thought about this. So I wrote a first little book when I was very young. I think I was about 7. I wrote a book about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I always liked writing. Normally poetry, actually, when I was little, but I wrote a book. I'm sure it was terrible. And then I wrote another book when I just left university, and that was terrible, and I threw it away in the end. But then I became a screenwriter, and I wrote for television. And then so that was my career. I did that for years. Then I had children and couldn't fit babies and screenwriting, so I wrote my first book. So I was 40 when I wrote my first book.
What was it called?
That was Sister, which was my first novel. Yeah.
Actually, I have it right here.
There we go.
Yes, I'm actually a big fan of you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Next, what do you do when you experience writer's block?
I go for a walk. I find walking really helps. And I think the other thing is I do, if I'm walking really good and not thinking about it too much, just going for a walk and thinking about something else. And it's almost like your brain, the subconscious, does some work for you. I think also, I think you also have to know when to just give in and say, okay, I've got writer's block about this, but I can work on something else. I can do some research, or I can read something I find stimulating, or I can do a bit of structure, or, you can do something different to actually sitting there thinking I have to write the next chapter.
Okay, next. When did you first realize you wanted to become a writer?
I was really young. As I say, I think I've always written ever since I could write. I've literally, ever since I could hold a pencil, I've written. So about 4 years old, I think. Yeah. So a friend of mine's mum was in publishing, so I knew about authors quite young. So yeah.
As a child, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always want to be a writer, or?
No, I did. I always wanted to be a writer. Always wanted to be.
Since
it's my dream.
Okay. When you write a book, Do you
Yeah.
have the whole story planned out and written out, or do you like plan along the way?
I do a bit of both. So to start with, I just have a vague idea or maybe a character and I explore that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quite kind of creative. I don't think too much about how the whole book's going to be. I just try to enjoy that character or that idea. And then my first book, I didn't plan it. I wrote it and it needed a lot of rewriting and it's much harder to rewrite.
Oh.
So I learned the hard way. It's better to plan it from the beginning
Mm-hmm.
to some extent before you've kind of written the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So how long does it take you to write a book?
Well, the shortest time it's ever taken me is 9 months. And that was because I had a deadline for a second book and I had to write a lot very quickly. My last book probably took me about 2 years, partly because of research, but also rewriting. I'm quite a perfectionist, so.
But what was the longest time, like?
Yeah, I think the last one, I think 2 years is probably about 2. Yeah.
I expected like it would be a long time because it takes a really long time to get an idea. So
yeah, I think the main thing for me is that I'm lucky I'm a full-time writer.
Oh.
So I'm not having to do anything else at the same time. You know, I don't have another job, I'm not studying, I'm not having to do anything other than write.
Where do you get your information or ideas for your book? Like when does it like spark,
Oh, I wish I knew the answer to that. I don't really know. I had.
So it could be like anything.
It could be anything. It could be an image. It could be something you read, something someone says. Yeah. I think it's something you have to be interested in because as you know, it takes a long time to write a book. So I think you have to be kind of interested in it.
Yeah. All right. Next, if you could tell your younger writing self anything, what would it be?
I think it would be hang in there and don't get demoralized. You know, it's really hard being rejected, and I had loads and loads of rejections.
Really?
And loads. In my first book was rejected by so many people, and and then it became a bestseller. But I didn't know that when I was opening rejection letter after rejection letter and getting really upset and thinking I was useless. So I think it's just keep going, and one day it will be okay.
Yes. Do you have any suggestions to the other aspiring writers out there to become a better writer, like you?
They might be a lot better than me already, so I wouldn't be that arrogant. I would say
I really feel your books are really amazing.
I would say read a lot and kind of work out why you love a book. Doesn't have to be something that you want to do in your own book, but what it is. It might just be that you're completely caught up in the voice of the book, or it might be the place, or it might be all sorts of things. And I think you can then use that in your own writing. But what I think at the end of the day, you're writing for you, really. It has to be what you would like as a reader, and reading and reading and reading all sorts of things. I would say.
Right. So you read a lot?
I read a lot. Yeah, I do. I read. It's my my big pleasure.
Actually, I can see from your background that you have a lot of books there.
Yeah, no, I do. I read on a Kindle because I can't kind of keep all the books. And just being really curious about the world. I think that's really important.
Curious.
So curious. And I think there's another thing which when you're writing, which my American agent says, all good writing is good thinking. And I think that's a really interesting thing to say. It doesn't mean you have to have brilliant philosophical ideas, but when you're writing a character, you think about that character. But as I say, I don't want to tell anyone how to write because they might be really brilliant already and don't need any.
You're so humble. All right. So next, tell us a little bit about your new book.
So my latest book is called 3 Hours.
3 Hours, yes.
Yeah, and in the opening paragraph, the headmaster of a rural English liberal school is shot and badly wounded. And these 2 teenagers grab him and drag him into the library, and they barricade the door with books, which I think I was just telling you about. And it's what happens over the next 3 hours. who it's not like an American school shooting. It's not like a gunman goes on the rampage. It's much more about the kind of experience of the people who are trapped in the school, the parents who are waiting, and the police and what they're doing to try and get everybody out. So it's told from about 10 different perspectives. So kids, teenagers, teachers, police. So that's sort of what the book's about. But it's actually about kind of hope and community and love and courage and those things. No, I thought it was going to be really negative. As I wrote it, I thought, no, actually these kids and these teachers, they are kind of forming this really strong community, and they show a lot of courage.
So do you recommend me to buy it?
Well, I'd love you to read it. Yeah, I'd like to know what you think. Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to get it.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the process of writing a book. Like after you write, what happens then?
Well, like the publishing process, do you mean? Yeah. So I send it to my agent. And the agent, now agents do quite a lot of editorial work. So she will read it and come back to me with, hopefully the first thing they go is, I love it. That's what they have to say straight off. Otherwise they get very upset writers. And then saying, but what about this character? I would have liked to have known more about this, or I don't really understand this bit. And you rewrite it. And then my agent sends it to a publisher.
Yeah.
And then the publisher has something called an acquisitions meeting. And the acquisitions meeting, which I don't know how frequently they have them, but they all get together and then they decide which books they're going to buy. And you wait very nervously. And then they say, well, this is, for me, the most important thing is this is our vision of your book. So, we see it as this kind of book and we'll be marketing it in this kind of a way. And then you have someone who just looks at it for spelling errors and grammar, and they correct it for that, which is great. So you have people doing a lot of the hard work of just polishing it up for you, which is really nice. Get sent one day a box of books, which is really exciting when you open the box. And there's the real book. It's always a real thrill. So that's pretty much the process. Yeah. All
right. So that is all the questions I have for you. But before we end this session, there's one game called Rapid Fire. So it's basically you just have to answer these questions fast. Okay?
Oh, okay. I'll give it a go. Yeah.
All right. So first, give me 3 of your favorite authors.
I would say George Eliot, Shakespeare, and Milan Kundera.
All right. Give me 3 of your favorite books. It also could be one of the books that you have written.
Thank you. Okay. Middlemarch, The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and it's really difficult, the last one. I'd have to say War and Peace.
All right. Next. Would you rather publish one insanely great-selling book and never write again, or publish a string of 15 average-selling books over a 20-year period?
That's such a good question. That's a brilliant question. I think one really mega book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Would you rather be recognized wherever you go, or live a quiet, successful life?
I would definitely live a quiet life. Definitely not be recognized.
Oh, really? You
don't
want fame?
No.
So that is it. That's all the questions I have for you. And you're really aspiring author. I really want to be a part-time author in the future.
Good luck. Good luck with that. I think from your questions, you're going to be a great one. Yeah.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah.
If I were to call you again back to this channel, would you come back?
I certainly will. Yes.
Oh, really? Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much for watching our videos. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and maybe while you're at it, go and subscribe to our channel. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye.